On this episode of the Naturist Living Show, a top free tour of Canada, pens and cabins.
This episode of the Naturist Living Show is brought to you by Bear Oaks Family Naturist Park. At Bear Oaks, we offer traditional naturist values in a modern setting. Free your body, free your mind. www.bearoaks.ca.
Welcome, dear listener, to episode number 65 of the Naturist Living Show. My name is Stéphane Deschênes, and I'm your host for this episode, and I'm the owner of Bear Oaks Family Naturist Park. It is spring, finally. Spring of 2014. And it's been a long time coming here in Ontario. We've had the coldest winter, apparently, in 25 years. Pretty much below freezing the entire time. Well below it, certainly felt that way. Lots of snow, more snow than usual. I mean, it's not unusual amount of snow for other parts of Canada, but certainly is for the region around Toronto. So we're glad to finally see some warmer weather and melting that snow away and getting ready for the exciting season that comes up. So we are open year round, but of course it's so quiet. There's not as much going on, and we all know naturism is far more pleasurable and far more interesting when you can be outside and feel the warm sun on your skin and the gentle breeze, and to go for a swim in a natural lake. That's the ultimate. So with that, we had the delivery of our 3 cabins. We're going to have 4 cabins, brand new cabins this year. And I wanted to talk about that. Okay, it's a little self-promoting. We have cabins, so come to Bear Oaks, okay? But also because I think it's an important thing to think about and consider. People traditionally were creating naturist locations that, you had to bring everything on your own, and now people expect services. And camping is certainly something we offer. We offer service sites, but what we discovered is that people who come from far away, particularly the European tourists that we are getting some of, we're looking for something a bit more than our guest room. We have 5 guest rooms, which are essentially hotel rooms, but when you're staying for a long period of time, that can feel a little cramped. And as a naturist, you want to feel like you're part of the outdoors. And that's why most people come with tents or trailers or RVs. But if you're coming from Europe, obviously you're not bringing a tent or an RV. And so we now have, a few years ago, we got a fully serviced cabin, a grand cabin, as I'm calling it. And that has the kitchen, the full bathroom and everything else. But it takes up a lot of space, and it's very costly to purchase and operate and maintain. So people were looking for something in between. So now we have these cabins, which are cozy cabins. And they are insulated, and they're heated with propane, central heat vents, so you can keep them quite warm in the shoulder seasons. They sleep 6 through bunks. There's 2 double beds, and on top single bunks. And there's a small kitchen area, but no water. So there's a small kitchen area with a microwave and a small bar fridge. There's electricity, and there's lights, of course. There's a little porch, and they're very cute that way. And outside, we're going to have a barbecue and a picnic table. There is water in the area, very nearby. You can get water. And there is the comfort station across the way. So hot showers and toilets and a dishwashing station is just a short walk away. So it's a little bit like camping, except that you are in far more comfort on a mattress in a heated cabin. And all the things you need are provided for you. We even provide sheets and linens and pots and pans and dishes. So you can basically show up, have a camping experience. And that's important if you want to attract people who come from far away. And they actually came. The reason I say they just showed up and they're sitting in a parking lot is because they're built as trailers. Once they're set up, you won't know the difference because they look just like cabins with wood siding and tongue and groove wood paneling on the inside. And normal doors and windows. It doesn't look, and a peaked roof, so it doesn't look anything like a cabin. Sorry, like a trailer. It doesn't look anything like a trailer. But it comes as a trailer, which means that they're manufactured in a controlled conditions. They're manufactured in a factory where it's dry and warm. They under mass production system, so that means that there's efficiencies of scale because all the equipment and saws and craftspeople are there already, and they do it all day long regularly. It also means they are built under a standard of a trailer manufacturing, CSA, Canadian Standards Association, which means they don't need any building permits. They just show up and we pull them in to a spot. We don't have to worry about building permits. We don't have to worry about that they might be in areas where we wouldn't be allowed to build buildings because we're in a very sensitive, protected area. So I did, it was very exciting. We bought, it's actually going to be 4. We bought 1 slightly used ones and 3 brand new ones. And so I wanted to visit the factory to find out a bit more about how these were done. So while I was there, I sat down with Chris Faulkner, who is one of the, I guess he's one of the owners, and asked him a little bit more information and background.
My name is Chris Faulkner, and I am the Vice President of General Coach Canada.
And I just drove a couple of hours from the Toronto area to get here, and beautiful countryside, but it's kind of the middle of nowhere. Why are you guys here?
This factory has been here for over 60 years now. We are in a small town of Hensel, Ontario. And believe it or not, there is actually 3 manufacturers, or was 3 manufacturers in this area, and has been for many years. So what the reasoning is behind the coming to this area, I'm not sure, but it's a good base of people to pull from. And there's a lot of good craftsmen in this area, so it works well for us.
Doesn't it cost you a lot in shipping then?
Not really, no. We're shipping all over Ontario. It's and into Alberta and out west. So we're sort of actually in a neutral area, central area, I should say. So it's freight is freight. It doesn't really matter. It varies. So it's a good area for us.
So we're here because you're making the new Bare Oaks cabins, but you do a lot more than that. What's your products?
Yeah, we've done several different products throughout the years. Obviously, being here for over 60 years, we've done everything from motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, truck campers, and park models. But we are currently and cabins, of course. Currently, we have just concentrating on the cabins, and the park models are our biggest business. But we are still venturing into some niche markets, such as theatrical trailers for England. We do some overseas containerized units for China, and we're also shipping a very niche market to the oil patch out west.
Yeah, so is business good?
Business has its ups and downs, as most do, but the last few years have been very good for us. And this year, we just got finished a couple of RV shows, and it certainly looks like this year will be a very good year.
And what's the history of General Coach?
General Coach has been owned by several different companies throughout the years, and most recently was owned by Thor Industries, who is the largest RV manufacturer in the world, I believe, most definitely North America. They're an American company with several different manufacturing companies under their umbrella. We, up till about 3 years ago, we were owned by them, but then the markets were changing. And us being their only Canadian manufacturer, we could sense that there was a urgency to maybe get rid of us. So we decided, my father and I decided to put together a package and try and buy it out, and that's what happened. So.
And the name General Coach, when you say coach, I think of a bus. I didn't see any buses out there.
No, General Coach was definitely named because of buses. That was their first products that came out of this factory was actually buses and motorhomes. That was the concentration at the time. The actual name of the company was Citair Incorporated, which was in conjunction with Airstream. So we had a direct relation with Airstream at the time, and then Thor came in and bought both of us. It was actually the first three companies that Thor bought was Airstream and General Coach, who had a plant here in Hensel and also a plant in Oliver, BC.
And you have other brands. It's not all under General Coach.
No, we have several different brands over the years. We've had Corsair. Citation was our biggest. That was our branding for our travel chairs and fifth wheels. Huron Ridge is our branding for park models. And but it's all sort of under that General Coach umbrella.
And so what, this is your chance, why should somebody buy a General Coach product versus the many other manufacturers that are out there?
I think it's, a lot of it has to do with the fact that we are in a small town and we are pulling small town craftsmen. So our fit and finish and quality of the product itself is really second to none. It's the guys here take great pride in what they build, and we're not a mass producer. We're producing a unit a day is sort of the way you can look at it, and our quality is what sells our product. So that's really the biggest thing for us, is the quality and the fit and finish of the product.
So this is an interesting option, and certainly General Coach and Chris Faulkner are not the only options if you want to purchase a cabin for your site, for your Naturist resort and your Naturist club. But there are other companies in the U.S. that make these, and I'm sure in Europe as well. They are cost effective, because I could not build these cabins for this price. And nor would be much more complicated. I mean, it would just require a lot more coordination and various trades to be pulled in. We just ordered them. They showed up, pulled into the parking lot. We'll put them in place, set them up, stairs, a few other little things. But basically, they're done. They come up completely finished the way we want them to. And that's a big advantage if you have a club, because labor, coordination, management is something most clubs are short of, because there's not a big organization behind them. So there's many places. It's essentially KOA, if you're in North America, KOA, Campgrounds of America, has some of these cabins as well. They call them camping cabins, with K's, of course. And some of them are being built as trailers as well, so they can be delivered more easily. So there are plenty of options out there if you're interested in that. And I'll post pictures of my visit in a blog, so you'll be able to read in the blog all about the cabins as well, and see pictures of how the manufacturing process was going. There'll be a link in the show notes to the pictures in that blog.
Hi, Felicity. How you doing?
Hey, Stefan. I'm good. How are you?
I am so happy that it's warm all now. It's finally, we had like the coldest March. I can't believe how bad it is. So now that April's here, we finally have some non-freezing temperature, and the snow's melting. And yesterday I was actually nude outside in a sheltered area, because it was 10 degrees Celsius. What would that be in Fahrenheit? Like, I don't know, 50 something maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
And in the sun, it was, it was sheltered. There was no wind. It was really nice, because the sun is hot. It's getting there for the summer. So I'm feeling really good about it. How about you guys? What's happening in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, I haven't been naked outside yet, but it has been getting a bit warmer. Today's like 60 degrees and sunny, and we're getting there. We're almost there. The lakes have almost thawed out.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
And so is YNA, it's doing stuff?
And we just had our first St. Patrick's Day party, actually.
Indoors.
2 weeks ago. Yeah, indoors, yeah. And that was really fun. Had got a lot of publicity. We were in Time Out New York and the New York Daily News, and we totally sold out tickets and filled up the venue, so it was a good time.
Was it good publicity?
Yeah, it was, I can't say how many people found it or found us, came to the party because of that, but definitely we got a lot more traffic from being in those two places, so it was good.
Cool. Any more parties coming up?
We don't have anything planned yet, but we will be doing a few more indoor events at our new spa in New Jersey.
Oh,
Yeah, we actually just partnered up with a friend, and we bought the spa that we had talked about before.
wow. Well, this is what Joshua was talking about, isn't it? When he on that because
Yeah,
he talked.
exactly.
Yeah. He talked about that on a
Yeah, with
podcast.
Joshua.
Yeah.
Right, you guys know Joshua, yeah.
Yes. Well, he
Um,
talked about his idea for a spa on the podcast, right? So
yeah,
so
yep. So it worked out, and we became owners just like officially 2 or 3 weeks ago.
that is cool. So that you guys are definitely not all talk and no action, right?
Right, yeah. We're getting things done. We always have, always something going on. Yeah, right now it's a clothed place, as in people have to wear clothes, and it's just a women's gym and spa. But we are excited to start doing Y&A Naturist events there on the weekends.
So what are the people who go there on the weekends now going to do?
Oh, well, normally it actually closes early on Saturdays and Sundays, and it's usually very slow. So we're going to be doing events like starting in the late afternoon and evenings when it's usually closed anyway.
Wow. And do they have a pool and things?
Yeah, there's a pool, sauna, hot tub. We're working on redoing some treatment rooms to have massage during the regular hours as well. And then there's like a big exercise room with ellipticals and treadmills and exercise equipment that anyone can use.
So for now, in the beginning, it'll continue as a textile spa or a textile place on weekdays then?
Right. Normal. It's going to, keep up the same operating hours as a textile place. And eventually we hope to have certain days, certain weekdays, like every Tuesday is Naturist Day or something like that. And then eventually, if it goes well, we'll have our year-round, full-time, 24/7 Naturist place.
Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're going to convert all those textiles over, are you?
Right. Okay, we're going to make it naked now, so
Yeah.
you're renewing your membership, right?
Yeah, exactly. So theoretically, though, because New York City is known as a place in New York where you can go top free, and they finally accepted that. So could I come there if I was a woman and work out or go in the pool top free during the textile hours?
This is in New Jersey.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not too far from New York City, but it's in New Jersey. So unfortunately, it's got to be, abide by the New Jersey laws. It's not top free friendly state. But I mean, theoretically, yeah, in New York, you would think you could do that in New York City places too, but it's actually, there's still some discrimination going on. As far as New York City businesses where places where men can be shirtless and women can't.
Yeah, well, I guess it is the legal argument that it's a private place and they can do anything they want. Is that it?
Yeah. So I'd wanted to bring this up too because it's really like starting to bother me, and that's what a lot of people said when I started talking about this. But it's actually not. It's actually still discrimination because. Yeah, they can make their own rules. They can say, oh, nobody can smoke, and those are fine, but see, those would apply to both men and women. And
right.
This is something that only applies to one gender, and so that makes it illegal.
Right. Is it illegal, do you think?
It is. I mean, one activist who's known around here, Moira Johnston, she filed like 13 complaints against yoga studios about 2 years ago with the office, the New York Office of Human Rights. And so obviously if it was perfectly legal, they wouldn't have been filing these complaints. But basically, like, I know at least one studio is still doing it. Men are still shirtless, and they're still telling me I can't be top free. So it's basically like, well, until people complain or stand up and say something, like, they're just going to keep doing it.
That's true. And so, what's the solution?
Well, I mean, there's I've been talking with Jordan, about different things to do, and I can either file more complaints with the same office, and then they might offer me to take it to the Supreme Court. I can also go into the studio and then take my top off and take it to the point where they have to forcibly remove me if they want me to put my shirt back on, and then sue them.
Right.
Which I really don't like the idea of. I just, it's so maybe too confrontational for me to do, especially do it by myself. I mean, with a few other women maybe, but it's not my preferred route to go with it. But I mean, I do want to pursue it, and I don't think it's right. And it's kind of annoying because not even like the naturist community gets it, because they're all telling me to go to, there's all these naked, it's like, I know there are naked yoga classes.
Right.
This is a different issue. Even naturists are like basically implying or saying it's wrong for me to like impose my body on other people. Like, it's not a naturist thing to do if I'm trying to push my nudity onto other people in a place where it's not welcome. It's like, well, yeah, I already do that in public, though, and nobody says that same thing. So it's kind of silly to me.
Yeah, and I understand, we're not trying to, in general, like, push people into it, but as a fundamental principle, why is it that they can push their beliefs on us? Because that's what they're doing, right? If I want to be nude even in public, how does that really affect anybody? If you want to be top free in a yoga studio, apparently it offends people, but really it's an idea. Just like certain words offend people,
right?
But those words, if you go to a different country, are completely meaningless. The fact that they're offended by the fact you being top free is kind of their problem. I mean, what if they're offended by the fact that you're showing your face because that's not appropriate in their culture, or you're showing, I can see the form of your body because you're wearing a tight outfit.
Right.
It's all to me. You're not touching them. You're not making them do anything. Why is it wrong? Why would a naturist argue that you shouldn't be able to do that? I don't get it.
Right. It's not justification. I mean, they don't get it. It's like you can't make these rules. You can't justify it by saying that you might. And I'm saying might because who knows, like, what the actual people in the yoga class, for example, what they actually would think or how they would actually react, because you might offend somebody. And it's like rules, the rules and laws are not made that way. You could just as easily say, I'm offended by the shirtless guy next to me. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, or I might not like his haircut, or maybe I don't like beards or mustaches, Obviously, I do if you've seen my picture, of course. But, and you've seen me in person. But, yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things, that people don't like. There was a time where guys with long hair was offensive. So, but that's not anymore.
Right, it's absurd.
It is absurd. So let's put it back on you. What are you going to allow at your health club?
Well, it's not something, I mean, the top free thing is not something that we've talked about so much with Joshua for changing the rules on that. I mean, right now, actually, even before we came in, some women actually went naked in the sauna.
Is it a mixed sauna?
No, it's women. I mean, before we bought it, it's always been, well, for a while, it's been this women-only place. And we know already, like, some women were already going naked in the sauna.
Well, you should go naked in the sauna. Yeah. Especially if it's not mixed gender. Generally, it is naked, is it not?
I mean, yeah, that's the normal thing to do, right?
Yeah, it should be, yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, some of the people who work there seem to think that was kind of scandalous. They kind of, like, whisper it, like, some women,
So that's interesting. So the place is going to stay women only during normal hours?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when we make it our own naturist days or naturist place, it'll be co-ed.
Right.
And for events, it's co-ed and whatever. But yeah, no, we should talk to Joshua about just giving women the option, even if they don't want to do it.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah, you can make a statement about endorsing top free, right, and just put up a sign or something like that. We support
Yeah.
women's right to be top free, kind of thing, and then leave it at that, and people can decide what to do.
Yeah.
But because even though if it's not legal to do it in public in New Jersey, I'm sure in private that shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
And
I think, yeah, I don't think it would be a problem.
well, that's very exciting. So, if people are interested in coming to your health club, what should they do?
Well, when we start doing our events, they're going to be listed on our website. I mean, the place itself does have a website that they can check it out. I believe I'll check. I think it's it's spaladyhealth.com. So,
Okay.
yeah, and it's still, we're still kind of redoing the website, and we renamed it and rebranding it. So it's still undergoing some changes, but people can see some photos and check that out soon.
And it's yna.me for your website.
Right. Our website, yna.me, to find out about events.
And are you planning anything around this top free thing? Are you planning any protests?
Well, I have been talking to one of our members about doing our own top free day in New York City, just out in public, like as a casual thing for in May or June.
Okay, so they'll be able to everybody can find that out on the YNA site as well, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. And any big parties, anything happening that you want to talk about?
Not so far. We're still trying to figure out the summer plans and the summer calendar finally as it gets warmer.
Very good. You think you might be coming to Bear Oaks again?
I'd like to, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it's still one of the favorite clubs I've ever been to.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what we'll be doing.
All right. Okay, well, we'll talk again next month then and see how things are progressing.
Yeah, definitely.
I was visiting a friend of mine a couple of years ago who makes souvenirs and all kinds of things. In fact, there's many places around the world when I visit and I go and look at the souvenirs, the postcards, the various miniatures and things that when I look on the bottom, I see his company's name. And I was looking at things that I might be able to have in a store at Bear Oaks, and he carries the stripper pen. And I grew up, I remember the stripper pen. It's an old joke. I know the pen that the man or the ladies dress and you tip and they strip. And I thought, well, that's really funny. I've always thought those were amusing. Wouldn't it be fun to carry those at Bear Oaks? But of course, stripping is against the basic philosophy of naturism. And certainly looking at the man and the woman that were there, they were posed in a very seductive manner. And they were wearing lingerie and stripping out of their lingerie. So a stripper pen is not actually appropriate. But the idea of liberating a person from their clothes is what we do. And so I thought, can I do a variation on this? And of course, it didn't exist. So we had to create our own version. So I talked to our friend Stephen Crawley in Australia, who did the Loxie and Zoot and the Koala Bears books, which we've talked about, and we've interviewed him before in the past. And he agreed to draw a man and a woman that we would use for these tilt and strip pens. And I learned a lot more about them. These pens are actually, almost all of them are made in Denmark by a company called Eskesen. And so we call them Body Liberation Pen. We ordered them, and then once they were done, I contacted Eskesen, and I interviewed the person in charge of marketing, Kim Rasmussen, about the pens and the history, because it's got quite an interesting and long history.
Well, my name is Kim Rasmussen. I work with Eskesen in Denmark. I've been there since August 2000. I've been doing marketing, sales, and a lot of other functions in the company over the last 13, 14 years.
That's good. So tell me about Eskesen. It's how did it get started? What's the history of Eskesen?
Well, it was founded back in 1946 by Mr. Peter Eskesen. He actually founded the company in a small basement, And the company Eskesen did some various things, among others some porcelain. Before they, in the early 50s, made the first floaty pen for Esso. It was a special assignment from Esso to make a pen with a floating oil drum inside. And Eskesen completed that task, and he got a patent on the pen at the time, and then the company evolved.
So nobody hadn't done a floaty pen before Eskesen?
No, he was the first one to do that. At the time, it was a different floating pen that than the one we know today, because at the time it was like miniature models, hand painted, that were floating inside the barrel, like small figurines. It could be a small oil drum for Esso, or it could be small cartoon characters that were put inside there. It wasn't until the early 50s, 60s that the whole thing about the film inside was developed.
The film, which allows something to change, like they do in the Bare Oaks pen, where the person's clothes disappear.
Yeah, that wasn't really developed until the 60s, maybe the late 50s. We're not completely sure.
And is it around that time that they came up with the idea then of having the stripper pen as well? That was the first time?
Yeah, the earliest models that we know of, they date back to the early 60s.
Yeah. And what is that? It's still available today, huh? The stripper pen is still available today, yeah?
The stripper pen is still available today. The models are updated though, so they're up to date. But the pen itself is still available. This technique where a male or a female undresses in the pen.
Yeah.
Only the pen, the original clicker style pen, is no longer available. It's been replaced by a more modern style of pen, but the whole concept is still available. And
is it so? It has always been and is still a good seller then.
It is. It's been part of Eskesen's product program ever since it was developed. So it's still going strong. Yes.
But I've seen the pen, all kinds of pens. I was at the aquarium in Munich last week, and they were selling Eskesen aquarium pens. So you make a lot of different ones too.
We do. I can't give you specific numbers, but we've done hundreds and thousands of different designs. We kind of work in different segments. One being the promotional segment, where you do pens with company logos and products and so on. The other being the leisure segment, where we do, like for Munich Aquarium, or we do pens with the Eiffel Tower, or special landscapes or sites or natural parks or something. So we do span quite a lot in the various products we do.
And are there other people that make floaty pens, or are you pretty much the only ones?
Well, there are like anything else. Eskesen is being copied, but with, let's say, we are the original, and we are the best quality on the market. So we do see copies of our pens, but it's also about quality. It's about what you want to signal. It's about what you want to buy, really.
So the Bare Oaks pen that you made for me, which is very nice and fun, tell why is that a good pen? Why is it a quality pen?
Well, it's a quality pen because most other pens, they leak. That means the design inside, depending on what type of design it is, it's floating in a liquid, and our pens, they're sealed properly, so they don't leak. And that means if they leak the fluid inside, then over a period of time, it can be short or a little longer, they will stop working.
Right.
You will find Eskesen pens that have been working since the 1950s. I think that pretty much speaks for itself.
Yes, and in fact, I've learned that there's quite a community of collectors even of your pens.
There is, yes. Eskesen pens are collected all over the world. I wouldn't even dare to guess how many people are collecting our pens. Some of the collectors are collecting only Eskesen pens. One has even been in the Guinness World of Records. But how many on a worldwide scale, I wouldn't dare to guess. But it's counted in thousands of people.
Wow! And your pens are still made in Denmark, right? Every part of it.
Our pens are still made in Denmark at our own factory, where our offices are, and we control the production from start to finish.
Where in Denmark?
We're about 1 hour from Copenhagen. We're in the countryside in a small village. Pretty much the only factory there, or we are the only factory there. It's just a small village in the countryside. So from our office, we just have the view of open fields.
Oh, sounds wonderful.
Well, it is. It's kind of idyllic. So rather than being in an industrial area, it's quite nice, and you don't have any problems commuting in the morning.
No, that's true. So is the market for the future for these kinds of pen? Do you think now with computers, do you think that the market's still going to continue to be good? Well, what do you see as the future?
Well, I see the market continuing. We like most other people in our business. Of course, we've also felt the crisis over the past few years here, but we also see the market going up again, and I think there will always be a market for our pens because they're so different from anything else you can get. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look at your average pen, it's a pen with a print on it.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, it has an appealing color, but that's pretty much it. It might have a special design though, but with our floating pens, you get so much more because you get an actual story inside the pen.
Yeah.
Which is why it's appealing to all ages. I mean, children from a few years old and up to adults. They love the pen because they love that little floating scene inside the pen, which gives you an experience. I don't think you can imagine many other pens that actually give you an experience of something.
Right.
Most other pens you use them to write, and that's it. You have them for the function. Here you have them for the experience, and that makes a big difference in how the pen is perceived in the market.
And I was going to say, I also, in terms of the quality, that this pen the top is a solid acrylic piece with a metal clip. I have so many pens where the clip breaks after a few months of using. Here, this is never going to break off because it's solid metal clip embedded in the very thick piece of acrylic, I think. So.
Of course, these body liberation pens aren't just for my own amusement, although I'm really enjoying them. I have 500 of each one, so they are for sale if you want one. Of course, they're available in the store at Bare Oaks, so if you visit Bare Oaks, you can buy a few if you'd like. Or they're also available in our online store, and that's at the Bare Boutique. Bareboutique.ca, B-A-R-E, just like Bare Oaks, bareboutique.ca, and I'll put a link in the show notes. There's also a YouTube video if you want to see how they work, and in the Bare Boutique there's a link to the YouTube video that shows them working. So if you're interested, go take a look. The theme of this show is a top free tour of Canada. And that's because I received a note, some information about a person, Serenity Hart, who was planning a top free tour of Canada. And she is starting this summer of 2014, or spring actually. She'll be starting in May, and traveling from one coast to the other coast, visiting major cities and taking pictures and doing a film. So I gave her a call to find out more about what this was about and what she was hoping to accomplish.
All right. So, hey, guys. My name is Serenity Hart, and I work as a nude model from Toronto, Ontario. And I am basically putting together a tour across Canada to demonstrate the rights that women have to bear their chest in public, topless.
So, topless or top free? You've used both words when you've sent me the note about it.
To me, I sort of gather them as the same thing. Top free to me, I guess, goes more in the language of a naturist or a nudist, so to speak, or people who hang out in those types of environments. Topless, if you're looking under the constitutional rights that have been put in place for us as women, that's what they associate it with, as being topless.
So when you're doing the top free tour, the topless tour of Canada, so what are you going to do? You're going to start in BC, I see, and you're going to go all the way to PEI.
Yeah.
And so what are you going to do in each stop?
So I get to these places, and I'll be posing in the major cities, working with local photographers. And I'm just literally going to show up in a town, and the photographer, he'll be across the street. And I'll be posing in very public places that are recognizable to most people. And I'll be reading a book, I'll be at a bus stop, I'm listening to music, I'm talking with a friend, asking for directions. And the photographer, me being the secondary subject, will be capturing all of those moments. And then I stop there and move over to the next city. So it'd just be, different points along the way from PEI to where am I going? To PEI. That's basically how the whole thing will be set up. And I've got a videographer with me who'll be doing all of the behind-the-scenes documentation of it. And later that will also turn into a short film.
A short film that's going to be on online, or is it going to actually be released commercially?
We're more so looking on a commercial base. She's definitely going to be submitting it to a bunch of film festivals in the city, and then we'll sort of take it from there. But we'll definitely have a public screening if it doesn't go as big as we would like it to be.
So you realize that while Gwen Jacob did set a precedent in Ontario, it doesn't automatically apply in all the provinces. So are you prepared that you may encounter some opposition legally?
Well, as far as my homework is concerned, it is completely legal in all of the states. It's just in all the provinces. Sorry, it is just frowned upon. I do understand there's a bit of a loophole as well that I can, I guess, possibly be arrested, but the charge itself would not be able to state that they're charging me for being topless. So I mentally preparing myself for those sort of incidents. At no time am I looking to be arrested. I travel a lot, so I know that that's not going to help me on record. And at no time do I really want to be going against any sort of laws that are in place. But I do want to stir up a discussion, and that was mainly what this whole thing was about.
So, in your words, what's the discussion? What needs to be discussed here?
For me, the discussion is about women and their confidence. It's about the stigma that's being attached to toplessness for women. I find that a lot of people that I've been interviewing, both male and female, a different bracket of ages, there's a mixed sort of signal about, why women would even want to be topless or walk around without their shirts on. My discussion that I'm trying to form is just, I guess, figuring out why women are not feeling comfortable to do this. And when I'm asking these questions, I feel as though it's sparking an interest, even with men, about why they even feel that it's not right for a woman to bare their chest in public.
Well, in some cases these days, it's even men feel it's not right for men to bare their chest in public.
Yes,
it seems
very true.
We're going backwards, aren't we?
Yeah.
And you say you're a nude model, and in some of the things you talk about body acceptance in general. So it sounds almost like, while this is only a top-free tour, that you have some sympathies towards naturism as well.
Oh, yes, like 100%. I grew up in an environment where I was always naked at home. My mom specifically is always walking around the house naked. So being nude was never really something that I saw as taboo or something that I thought was weird. But I do work as a nude model. That's primarily what I do. Of course, I know it's not legal to walk around all of Canada naked, so I have to, limit myself in a way to just doing it topless. But I can completely relate. I think that it's for me very backwards the way that we've turned everything into. But it's become a business, being able to sell our insecurities and tell us that we have to cover up all the time. So I get that part of it, but I do want to break that sort of initial state of mind that people have about being naked, and why, being naked does not have to be attached to sex and shame.
So the tour starts. You say you start in Vancouver on May 16th, but you actually have an event on May 10th in Toronto. Is that right?
So May 10th is actually when I hop in my car and I drive to BC. On April 2nd is the launch of the Kickstarter campaign, where I'm going to be raising $13,000 to do the tour across Canada. Oh,
okay. You're going to have to get that money raised pretty fast then.
Yeah, so I've got 30 days to raise the $13,000, yeah.
And what happens if it doesn't get raised?
For me, the tour is still going to be something that I really need to pursue. I sort of set my life up around doing this over the last 6 months. So I don't really have a plan B, so to speak, if that's what you're asking. But it's going to happen. I'm going to raise the money.
And you leave on May 10th, and your first event is on May 16th or so in Vancouver. So you're going to be driving fairly hard all the way across to Vancouver then.
Yes.
And then you make your way back from, I can see here, through Victoria, Kamloops, Edmonton, Calgary, Shaunavon. I don't even know where that is.
It's a very small town. I actually visited it a few years ago. I stayed there for 3 months. I want to go back and see some people that I met while I was there. But yes, it is a very small town.
Okay. And then Regina, Winnipeg, Thunder Bay, Sault Ste. Marie, North Bay, Montreal, Quebec City, Fredericton, Charlottetown, St. John's, and then back in Toronto again. Mm-hmm. That's going to keep you quite busy, because you're planning on being back by July 26th, so you're going to be driving nonstop.
Yeah, it will be. There'll be very quick stopovers in each of those places, and that's why I'm not doing the driving alone. I will be going with my videographer, Ashley, so we're sort of taking turns in the whole trip. But yes, essentially it's a very quick turnaround to do the whole thing.
So are you just going to take photos in the places where you stop, or are you going to hang out, discuss, or create some sort of event as well?
So each of the places, my goal is to definitely have the photo shoots themselves, and then either prior to the photo shoot or after the photo shoot, I haven't quite decided yet. I will be sort of hanging out with people. I've got a huge following in a bunch of the places that I'm going to be stopping. So a lot of the women and men who support what's going on, they'll be able to have a chance to meet up with me. We'll probably go to a coffee shop. Hopefully it doesn't blow up bigger than that where I can't fit anywhere. Or we can, book a room in a community center and sort of have a discussion around the toplessness and also have that added into the documentation.
So if people do want to follow you or contribute, how do they find out more information?
They can find me on Facebook, look up Serenity Hart, Hart. They can look up Top Free Canada on Facebook as well. I have an Instagram account, Serenity Hart. They can send me an email. It's serenityheartyou@gmail.com. And, just send me a shout.
So as usual, I'll have notes and links in the show notes about Serenity's tour. And you can find more about when her Kickstarter campaign is going from there. And you can contribute to it, of course, and follow her tour as she goes through Canada this summer. I sure hope it works out. I sure hope she does raise awareness for top freedom and equal rights and body acceptance, because that's something we desperately need. There's a bit of a counter pressure right now towards body shame and towards hiding. But with people like her fighting and keeping the ideas in the forefront, hopefully we can keep that at bay. Well, that's all for this episode of the Naturist Living Show. Thank you again for listening. I want to remind everybody, we now have a comment line. You can call and leave a comment, and then I'll put it on the show. And you haven't heard any because nobody's done it. I'm getting lots of emails and comments that way, but for some reason, nobody's wanted to leave a voice comment. So you can call. You can take as many tries as you want, and you can even delete it if you're done. If you don't like it, you can delete it. But if you want to leave a comment, and of course I can't promise I will use them, because if suddenly everybody calls, or if it's not a very interesting comment, I won't put it on the show. But generally, I think we'll be able to include the comments. And so you just dial. You can dial 905, country code 1 if you're outside of Canada and the United States. Country code 1-905-473-6060, which is the main number for Bear Oaks Family Naturist Park. And the show hotline is extension 333. You can call toll-free in the U.S. and Canada as well at 1-888-373-9124, and it's extension 333 again. And if you have Skype, you can call Bear Oaks. Bear Oaks is our Skype name. BAREOAKS, extension 333. Of course, you can continue to send comments by email as well. I always appreciate it. Please keep sending your comments, your thoughts and suggestions. I do read them all. I try to reply to every one of them. I think I generally do. If I miss them, just write to me again. Remind me. I may have been away and got behind in my emails. The show's email address is naturistliving@bearoaks.ca. That's BARE, of course, bearoaks.ca, because we are in Canada. And the show's website, where you find all the show notes and references to all the things I've mentioned, is found at naturistliving, one word, .bearoaks, BARE again, bearoaks.ca. Join us again in about a month for the next episode of the Naturist Living Show.
This episode of the Naturist Living Show was brought to you by Bear Oaks Family Naturist Park. Traditional naturist values in a modern setting. Traditional values means that naturism is more than just taking your clothes off. It is a life philosophy with physical, psychological, environmental, social, and moral benefits. Bear Oaks Family Naturist Park strives to promote those naturist values in a modern setting that provides the amenities and services that our members and visitors expect. Free your body, free your mind. Learn more at www.bearoaks.ca.